I tried the best AI image generators in 2026, and honestly, choosing a winner has become much harder than it used to be. Because a few years ago, you could basically ask, which AI image generator makes the best images? Which AI image generator makes the best images? Today, that's almost impossible to answer without asking another question. Best for what? The best tool for cinematic art might not be the best for product photography. The best tool for realistic photos might not be the best for posters. The best tool for logos might not be the best for storytelling. And the best tool for a designer might not be the best tool for someone who has never used AI before. That is why I wanted to test the major AI image generators in 2026 and rank them based on what they are actually good at. We're looking at image quality, photorealism, creative control, text rendering, consistency, ease of use, brand work, and most importantly, the actual workflow. Because generating an image is no longer the difficult part. The difficult part is getting the exact image you need and turning it into something you can actually use. So let's start with number 7. Number 7, Canva AI. Canva is probably one of the easiest places to start if you are completely new to AI image generation. And that's its biggest strength. You don't need to learn a complicated prompting system. You generate an image and immediately put it into a design. A social post, a presentation, an advertisement. A social post, a presentation, an advertisement. It's trying to make visual production easy. And for many people, that's exactly what they need. The downside is that it isn't really trying to be the ultimate image generation laboratory. It's trying to make visual production easy. The channel banner, social media graphics, supporting visuals. Best for social media, marketing, presentations, and beginners. Number 6, Leonardo AI. Leonardo has built a strong position around creative and game-oriented imagery. It is particularly interesting for concept art, characters, environments, fantasy, sci-fi, game assets, and visual experimentation. If you're building a fictional world, Leonardo gives you a lot of creative flexibility. The downside is that the sheer number of options can make the platform feel more complicated than something like ChatGPT Images. Best for game development, concept art, character design, and creative experimentation. Number 5, Recraft. Recraft is one of the tools I would pay particular attention to if you're doing branding or graphic design, because generating a beautiful photograph is one problem. Generating a useful logo, icon, illustration, vector style asset, or branded visual is another. Recraft is particularly strong in that territory. You can create graphics that feel much more intentional than a generic AI illustration. The downside is that if your only goal is cinematic photography, there are other generators I'd choose first. Best for logos, illustrations, vectors, brand graphics, and design work. Number 4, Ideogram. This is where text becomes a major factor. For a long time, AI image generators had one hilarious problem. They could create an incredible movie poster and completely destroy the title. You would get something that looked beautiful from 10 feet away, and like ancient alien writing when you actually read it. A gorgeous branded packaging box showing perfectly rendered text layouts. Ideogram is one of the first tools I would test. Signs, packaging, typography-heavy designs. That makes it extremely useful for marketers. If your image needs to actually say something, make it the best generator for every artistic style. The downside is that being excellent at text doesn't automatically make it the best generator for every artistic style. Best for posters, ads, text-heavy graphics, typography, and marketing creative. Number 3, Flux. Flux is one of the most interesting choices for people who care about realism, control, APIs, or technical workflows. It can produce extremely convincing photographic imagery, product photography, portraits, architecture, lifestyle scenes, commercial-looking images. And if you're building an automated image generation pipeline, Flux becomes even more interesting. You can integrate it into applications and workflows, rather than simply opening a website and typing a prompt. The downside is that the flexibility can come with complexity. It's not necessarily the first thing I'd recommend to someone who simply wants to make a beautiful image in 30 seconds. Best for photorealism, product imagery, developers, APIs, and production pipelines. Number 2, Midjourney. If pure visual quality is what you care about, Midjourney remains extremely difficult to ignore. The images can be spectacular: cinematic lighting, composition, color, atmosphere, stylization, concept art. Editorial photography, fantasy, fashion. It has a very recognizable aesthetic ceiling, and that's why so many designers, artists, and creators still use it. The downside is that aesthetics are not the same thing as control. You can create an incredible image and still need to work quite a bit to get exactly the composition you wanted. And if your project requires a lot of precise editing, typography, or production work afterwards, another tool may fit better. Best for artistic quality, cinematic imagery, concept art, fashion, and visual experimentation. And now, number 1, ChatGPT Images. This is where AI image generation has become much more interesting. The biggest advantage isn't necessarily that every image looks better than Midjourney. It doesn't. The advantage is the workflow. You can describe what you want conversationally, then change it. Move something. Replace something, keep another element, try a different composition. Add text, remove an object, change the style, continue refining the same visual. That makes image generation feel much more like working with a creative assistant, rather than rolling the dice on prompts. And that's particularly useful for marketers and creators who don't necessarily want to become professional prompt engineers. But here's where I would change the ranking if we're talking about the complete workflow, because none of these tools really solves everything. And that brings me to my overall winner, Magnific. I'm not putting Magnific at number 1 because I think it is automatically the best pure image generation model for every prompt. That would be a pretty dishonest claim. Midjourney can beat it in certain artistic generations. Flux can be better for certain photorealistic workflows. Ideogram can be better when typography is the priority. Recraft can be better for certain brand assets. ChatGPT Images can be easier for conversational generation and editing. The reason I put Magnific at number 1 overall is the workflow. Because once you've generated an image, what happens next? You may need to enhance it, increase detail, fix inconsistencies, create variations, improve the visual quality, build a thumbnail, create a campaign, create multiple assets from the same concept, turn one image into a complete visual system. That's where Magnific becomes extremely valuable. Imagine you're creating an AI fashion campaign. You could generate the initial image with Midjourney or Flux, then use Magnific to push the image further, improve the details, create variations, develop the visual direction, create additional campaign assets, the channel banner, social media graphics, supporting visuals, or imagine you're creating a YouTube channel. The image generator gives you the hero artwork, but then you need the thumbnail, the channel banner, social media graphics, supporting visuals, different crops, higher resolution versions, and multiple variations. The generator is only the beginning. Magnific is particularly powerful at that second stage, the stage where an interesting AI image becomes a usable creative asset. And that is why I think the AI image generator conversation has changed. We shouldn't just be asking, which model makes the prettiest picture? We should be asking, which workflow gets me from an idea to something I can actually publish? Leonardo for game and concept art, Recraft for branding and vector style graphics, Ideogram for text-heavy images, Leonardo for game and concept art, Recraft for branding and vector style graphics, Ideogram for text-heavy images, color, atmosphere, stylization, concept art. You can create an incredible image and still need to work quite a bit, and Magnific as my overall creative workflow. Because in 2026, generating an image is becoming a commodity. The competitive advantage is everything you do after the image exists. Enhancement, consistency, variations, branding, campaigns, thumbnails, and turning one generation into an entire visual system. Anyone can generate an image now. The real skill is turning that image into something people actually want to see.